So now we are taking some patients to demonstrate you
Okay, sir.
how to take the CRL, how to take the fetal biometry, I will say. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you are Dr. Abhilesh, right?
No, sir. Abhilekh, sir.
Abhilekh, very sorry. Abhilekh. You are from Nepal, one, right?
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
from
sir.
Nepal. Okay, then. Now let us see what this patient is about. Now see, this is the bladder over here. Okay, this is the uterus over here.
Yes, sir.
So now, first of all, I will
Yes, sir.
show you the cervix. Okay, I will show you the cervix in a non-gravid uterus.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the cervix over here.
Okay, sir.
See the cervix. This is the cervix over here. This is the cervix. Okay, so I'm inverting the image so that you can see both waves in inverted as well as in a non-inverted one. This is not inverted and this is inverted one, right? So first have a look on the cervix. So fundus is here. Now see, the fundus is over here. The body is here. This is the cervical area over here, and the vaginal stripe is over here. Now, how to identify this is the cervix? There is a mucus plug by which we can identify that this is the cervix. This is over here. This is the mucus plug. This will look like a line, like the endometrium. How to differentiate whether it is endometrium or mucus plug? That is discussed in the gynecological ultrasound. This is the mucus plug. Mucus plug will not grow, will not have the triple lining, whereas the endometrium do have. That is the gynae part, which we have discussed in the gynecological ultrasound. So first have a look on the cervix over here. This is the cervix, and this is the vagina over here. This is the bladder, and this is the uterus over here. Now we will show you the same cervix in the this antenatal case. So, Dr. Abhilesh? Hello? Yeah. Unmute your audio, please. You have muted your audio. Please unmute your video. Done. Now see, this is the fetal ultrasound right now. Fetal head is over here. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the fetal head over here. I showed you the cervix in a non-gravid uterus. Now see the cervix in a gravid uterus. This is the cervix over here.
Yes, sir.
I will zoom in on the cervix. You'll see the cervix in a gravid now. This is the cervix. The fetal head is here.
Yes,
The
sir.
cervix.
Yes, sir.
Let me zoom on the cervix. So this is the cervix over here. Now this is the cervix over here. Now how to measure the cervix? I will be measuring from internal os to external os, like this.
Yes.
From here to here, like this. So here it is 4.8 on transabdominal ultrasound. This is absolutely a normal cervix. See again. Is it clear? Or
Yes, sir.
I will zoom it on the cervix. Now see, this is the cervix. So now the point is, if I see the mucus plug over here, it is
Yes,
first of all confirming that this is the cervix, and it is confirming that there is no leaking in this patient, because whenever there will be leaking, first thing what will vanish is the mucus plug. So the intact mucus plug over here is giving me 100% diagnosis that there is no leaking. Okay, so the point is, if there will be leaking at any point of time, first what will be washed off is the mucus plug only. So if you don't see a mucus plug and the patient is complaining of a leaking, then the mucus plug is washed out because the patient is having the leaking. Anyhow, this is the internal nose and this is the external nose. Now the funneling will appear over here. Funneling will appear over here in case of the cervical incompetency. So how to measure it? So you again taking a cursor, putting over here, then measuring like this. So it is coming about a 4.4, 4.5 centimeters is the cervical.
Yes, sir.
Now this is the fetal head over here. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to take the biparatal diameter. The biparatal diameter has to be taken whenever I am seeing the central facts. So for that, I have to see the central facts. Now see, the central facts will be over here. So whenever the central facts is seen, you can take the cervical leg. BPD. Now see to my hand. I am trying to take the biparatal diameter. For that, I have to take the axial section. Now see, this is the axial section. This is the axial section. And this is the central facts over here. I see the central facts. I see the fetal head, not in a round, but it will be more in an oval shape. So can you appreciate the central facts over here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so central facts you've seen. Yes, you are in the axial section, and this is the section for the biparatal diameter. Now, taking the cursor onto the BPD, I have first set the preset, appropriate preset. That is why BPD is seen over here. Then setting on the BPD and taking the cursor over here. What I mean by over here, I have to exclude one bone. So that is what the books are writing, inner to outer. So the inner to outer table means that you can include one-sided bone and exclude the other sided. So here, what I am doing, I am putting it into the inner side and putting the set function in work over here, and I will include the other sided bone. That is all. So the point is, I have to include this side bone or that side bone. That will be inner to outer, or outer to inner. That is all. So this is the BPD. So the biparatal diameter will be about a 90 degree to with respect to the central facts. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is over here 27 weeks. Then taking the head perimeter, head circumference, HC. Now taking the cursor onto the head circumference like this. Now see, I am showing you by my hand. Also, this is the head circumference. Setting on the head circumference, the ellipse tree will appear now. Then I have to choose the 2 points over here, and I will be including the both bones over here. It means that it is not from outer to inner, neither from inner to outer. It would include the whole perimetry. Then pressing it over here, then there is the ellipse tray by which I can increase or decrease this size of this circle. Accordingly, I have to take whole of the head. Now I will show you how to take the head perimeter. Now see. Again, the same section. What I mean the same section? Same axial section. Taking the cursor, putting it onto the outer contours of the bone. Then there is ellipse tray. Now see, by the ellipse tray, I can increase or decrease the size of this head circumference so that it will be fitting whole of on the whole of the skull. Now see, this is again 27 weeks. So this way I will be taking the head perimetry. Then, so
Yes, sir.
now see, till now we have taken 2. One is the BPD, one is the head circumference. Both are coming about a 27. Not about a 27, it is exactly 27, but it can be plus minus, don't worry. So anyhow, this is how to take the head perimetry. Clear? Clear up to now? Then how to take the heart rate. How to take the heart rate. For that, what I have to do, I have to go to the heart. I have to see the heart first. This is the heart over here.
Yes,
Then
sir.
I have to go to the M mode. Now I am going to the M mode, taking the cursor. Now see, this is the cursor over here, taking it onto the fetal heart. See, taking onto the fetal heart, and see, the pulsations appear over here. Now, you see, This is the fetal heart. Now, whenever I'm taking it, first of all, I have to switch from B mode to M mode. Then this line will appear, and this small line onto this line has to be put exactly onto the fetal heart. I can move it up or down depending on to the fetal heart location. So anyhow, I got the fetal heart, then I have to set. Now I am setting. The frame is now freezed. I am going to the HR, it is written over here, heart rate. Going to the heart rate, taking the cursor from the heart rate onto these pulsations. Now I will take this pulsation, I will skip the next one, I will go on the second one. It means that alternate basis, on the alternate basis. First, I will set over here. Now see, I will set over here. I will not take up to the next pulsation, but I will skip the next pulsation and I will take the second one. Now see, this way, then I will set it and the machine will show me the fetal heart rate. It is 154 beats per minute in this patient. So this is how the fetal heart rate has to be taken. Now, in GE machines, in almost all GE machines, you are taking it on alternate basis, but in some machines, you have to take two subsequent waves. You have to see which machine you are using, and you have to see for the manuals, or you can contact your software engineer. He will tell you whether to skip the take it on alternate basis or on the two subsequent waves. That's all. So this is the fetal heart over here, right? Then we showed you how to take the biparatal diameter and the head circumference. Now going up, what for the femoral length. Now see, this is the femur over here. This is the femur. Now see to my hand. The head is over here. If head is over here, where the femur will be? Here, right? So now see, again showing you the head over here and the femur will be here. So this is the femur. Then it will look sometimes like this dot. Without leaving this, what I will do, I will rotate the probe. See to my hand how I'm rotating the probe to get the length of this femur. Once I got the length of the femur, now see, this is the femur. This is the femur over here. So once I got the length, then I will do the necessary settings over here. What is that? I will zoom onto the picture and I will go to the femoral length. Now this is the FL over here. So I will take the femoral length and I will measure the femur like this. I will show you again how this works. So this is 26 weeks and 5 days. Again, this is corresponding as per her LMP. As per LMP, she is 27.3 weeks. Okay, so
Yes.
now see, head is over here, moving up, and this is the femur over here. This is one femur, and this is the second one. This is the second one. So here, the distal femoral epiphyse has to be excluded. This is over here. You are not taking the epiphyse. You are taking the shaft of this femur. So clear? So this is the femur. Now, where will be the abdominal circumference? Now see to my hand. If head is over here, the femur we got over here, the abdominal circumference will be somewhere in the center. From here to here, somewhere in the center will be the AC, abdominal circumference. Now, see, head, femur was here, and this is the AC over here. Then I will see for the stomach bubble. Once I got the stomach bubble, this is the stomach bubble. The abdomen itself will be in an oval shape, not completely round. It will be in an oval shape. But if I will be more precise, I have to see for the portal vein. It is over here. You see the
Yes,
portal
sir.
vein. It is exactly, it is to be taken at the level of the portal vein. But if you are just started the ultrasound, you are a beginner, you can even take it at the level of the stomach bubble. So this is the portal vein over here. This is the portal vein, which is seen like a hockey over here. And at this section, the abdominal circumference will not be completely round, but oval-like structure. Okay. Then what I will
Yes,
do, I
sir.
will go to the abdominal circumference. This is the AC, taking the same as I took this head circumference. So is for the abdominal circumference also the ellipse tray, and this is how we are measuring the abdominal circumference. So again, demonstrating you the proper section. This is the stomach bubble, and this is the portal vein over here. So I see here both stomach as well as the portal vein. This is the portal vein over here. These are the three ossification centers coming from the spine. So this is the appropriate section for the abdominal circumference. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now, if I want to take some more perimetry, I mean the humeral length, humerus, this tibia or fibula, this is over here, humeral length, tibia, I can take that also. So this is the complete length of the spine, which we are now discussing in this class. Anyhow, this is the complete length of the spine. Then, so where is the placenta over here? Yes, you tell me, Dr. Avlesh. This is the placenta over here. Is this anterior or posterior? Okay, is this anterior or posterior? This is the posterior placenta. Now see,
Yes, sir.
posterior placenta.
Yes,
So
sir.
it
Yes,
is
sir.
not coming on the top, so it will be a posterior placenta. Can you grade the placenta over here? Is
Yes,
this
sir.
grade 0? Is this grade 1? Yeah, tell me the grading of the placenta. It looks more of a grade 1 placenta. Okay, that is already discussed in your class of the placenta. We will not discuss the placenta. We will show you the fetal perimetry over here. Okay, so the point is we got this head circumference, BPD, femoral length, as well as we got the abdominal circumference. Now see, the femur is over here, and this is the tibia and the fibula. Now let us take the length of the tibia and fibula. See to my hand how I am rotating to get an appropriate section. Yeah. Then, so this is tibia and this is the fibula one. Let me save this picture. I will get back to this picture. Now see again. The foot is over here. Now see, the foot is here. This is not a club foot. Why this is not a club foot? Because I am not seeing the sole of the foot when I'm seeing the tibia and fibula in length. Then, so we'll
Yes,
leave
sir.
the patient and we will take the tibia also. So routinely, we are not taking the tibia measurement, but for level seconds, you have to take the tibia, you have to take the humeral length, you have to take the long bones, all long bones. Okay. So this is the tibia, and this is the foot over here. Now this is the foot. I'm not seeing the sole of the foot when I'm seeing the tibia and fibula. So this is not the club foot. Okay, so we'll leave the patient, and meanwhile we'll be taking the tibia. Sure, okay. So now going to the tibia and taking the length of the tibia. It's over here. So this way we are taking the perimetry of the fetus. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
if you have any question, you can tell me. Then we will take the next patient.
Sir, I have some question that femur length is above the head circumference or not, sir?
Please repeat.
Sir, femur length is measured by above the
About the what? Posterior vertex. Now see, the
fetal
point is that
above
if
the sir,
if
head circumference.
okay, done. I got your point. So now see, if the head of the fetus is over here, where will you expect the femoral length? Where will you expect the femur? Over here. I will show you on this patient. Wait, I will show you on this patient. Now see, the point is if this is the fetus over here, if I got the fetal head over here, the femoral length will be here, right? But if
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but if it is breech, if I got, if I am getting the this fetal head over here in a breech, where will you expect the femur to be? Over here. This is the point. Now let us see in this patient, where is the fetal head first? Whether this is cephalic, whether this is breech, I don't know. So anyhow, this is a 29 weeks and 2 days fetus as LMB. Now let us see whether this is corresponding. Now see, I am putting our probe over here. Now see, just above the pubis symphysis, I am getting the fetal head over here. So this is not a breech, but a cephalic fetus, right?
Yes, sir.
So now again, I'm repeating the same. I'm taking the this BPD. How I will be taking the BPD? First of all, I will see for the central facts, and the section should be the exile one. Whenever I am in exile section, then only I can see the central central facts. So this is how we are taking the BPD. Now, your question, why will be the femur? Now see, what I told you, if head is over here, femur will be here. Now let us see if I am right. Now if the head of the fetus is here, I am moving up, I am moving up. This is the femur. This is the femur, but this femur is not in length. You're getting the point. This femur is not in length. To get this femur in length, what I have to do, I have to just rotate over there. Without leaving, I have to just rotate over there. And this is the femur. Done. So this is what I told you. If the head is here, the femur will be here. So then we are measuring the femoral length like this. So this is 30 weeks and 4 days. As per LMP, she is 29 and 2. I mean 29 weeks and 2 days. So this is again corresponding. Now let us see if the this BPD is also corresponding. Going to the BPD, again I'm giving you a quick revision also. Central facts, BPD, outer to inner table, or inner to outer, any one. So the point here is that I have to exclude one-sided bone. Now it is 29 weeks, 0 days. So this is also corresponding. So yes, he is 29 weeks as per BPD, as per FL. And if I will be measuring the head perimetry, I mean the head circumference, for that I have to go to the HC, putting one cursor over here, putting the second one, including the bone over here, then moving by my ellipse tray. Whenever I am moving the ellipse tray, it is getting structured. It is getting structured. Now see, as per HC, she is 29 weeks and 3 days. So this all is corresponding. Now see, I will take off the probe so that I can show you the ellipse tray of the HC. Now see, this is how. This is the ellipse tray. First putting this, then putting it onto my point, then moving with the ellipse, this will appear. Then you can increase or decrease this ellipse tray.
Yes, sir.
So now let us see if her AC is also corresponding. Now I am again repeating, if head is here, femur I got here, the AC will be in between. Now let us see what is the abdominal circumference. Very beautiful picture of the abdominal circumference over here. Why? Because I am getting everything in one section in this patient. What I am seeing, what is this?
Double bubble.
Not double bubble, stomach bubble.
Yes,
this is
sir,
stomach bubble. Okay, so this is stomach bubble. What is this over here? Yes, tell me, what is this? And what is here? What is this? If stomach is this is the stomach bubble. Where will be the stomach? On which side? On left side. But what I am seeing on the right side? What I am seeing on the right side? What is this? This is gallbladder.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gallbladder. Then, so this is not the double bubble, but this is the gallbladder. Now see, this is again the shape of the gallbladder. Now, what I am seeing over here, this is the portal vein over here. Now see, this is the portal, very beautiful portal vein. This is what I told you. You can take at the level of the stomach bubble. I mean the abdominal circumference. Now, this will be at the level of the stomach bubble. But if you are getting the this portal vein, that will be more accurate. Now see, this is the portal vein over here. Come, now let us show. Got it? So this will be again like a hockey. Now I'll be scanning. You will be seeing it like a hockey only. Yeah, can you appreciate? It's a bit tilted over here, so giving an appearance of the hockey. This is the section. This is the appropriate section for the AC. You may see, you may not see the stomach in this section. Which section? When I'm cutting through the portal vein. Sometimes you may see, sometimes you may not see, but if you got the portal vein like this, then you are appropriate. Yeah, done. So this is the portal vein, and this is the stomach bubble, which is still seen but not very clearly over here. What I will do, I will go to the AC, pressing onto the AC from here, and from this point to this point. I will take an ellipse, and in this case, it is 29 weeks and 1 day. So this is not an IUGR case. So why this is not an IUGR? Because the head perimetry and the abdominal circumference is corresponding. So this is not an IUGR case. Okay. Now, head, abdomen, femur. See to my hand. Femur, abdomen, head. Showing you everything in less than 5 seconds. Now see, head, abdomen, the femur. Then
Yes,
head,
sir.
abdomen, and femur. So this is how the perimetry of the fetus has to be taken. Now let us see. This is the amniotic fluid over here. This is the placenta over here. This is the placenta. This is the amniotic fluid over here. Now, how to measure the amniotic fluid? We have to take the 4 quadrants. 4 quadrants, that we have to sum up all the quadrants, whatever we are seeing. But pay attention to the point which I'm about to tell you, that keep your probe perpendicular, because if you will dip the probe from here, you are thinking that you are here, but actually you are sending the beam to this pocket. So therefore, you may be cheated by this pocket scanning from this point. So you may think that the amniotic fluid is over here, but actually what you are doing, you are tilting the probe and you are sending the beam to this pocket and thinking that this is the pocket over here. So keep your probe as perpendicular as possible when you are taking these pockets. Now see the hand. So one pocket is over here. Here I am getting very small pocket with the cord, so this will not be taken in account. So any pocket having more than 50% of the cord will not be taken without putting the color. I think more of a cord. So I will be putting some color also to state that yes, this is the cord. Now see, this is the cord over here. So any pocket having more than 50% of the cord will not be taken in account. Then moving up. Now see, keeping the probe perpendicular as possible. Now see, this is the pocket. Now here I am getting a small pocket over here, and this is there another pocket over here, and over here I am not seeing any pocket over here. So there is a small fluid. So visual impression is giving me that this pocket is about, let me take all. So this is one pocket. And here I am not getting any pocket over here. Then moving to the third frame. Yeah, here I got a good pocket. And over here, this is the pocket. So these are 4 pockets which we will add to get the amniotic fluid. We'll leave the patient and we will keep on adding the pockets. Over here, I have to take the, over here, from here to this point. Now this is 3.5 centimeters. And over here, I cannot see any pocket. And over here, I am seeing a good pocket. In this, the height over here, this is again 3.4, this is 3.5. So the total of these two is about a 7. And over here, it is from this point to here. So here I am getting how much? 3, 9, 10, 10.5. So this is 10.5. These two pockets are 10.5. So I will take this also in account. This is very small pocket. Now let us see if it is more than 2 centimeters. It will not be more than 2 centimeters. It's about a 1. So a total of about an 11 centimeters the amniotic fluid over here. So the 11 centimeters is a normal amniotic fluid. So this is how we can take the amniotic fluid measurements. So the point here is when we are taking the amniotic fluid, keep your probe as perpendicular as possible. Keep your this probe as perpendicular as possible. Because if you will tilt the probe, now see, if this is the maternal abdomen, 1 pocket here, 2nd here, 3rd here, and 4th here. Now the point is, if this pocket is empty, let me put some over here. If I don't have any pocket over here, when I am putting my probe over here and I am tilting it like this, what I am hitting? I am actually hitting this pocket. So whatever fluid is over here will be reflected from this point. But what I will be thinking that I am getting a pocket over here, which is wrong. It is not this pocket because this probe is not perpendicular but tilted. So the point is, don't angle your probe whenever you are taking the amniotic fluid. Now this is the next patient. I will revise the amniotic fluid so that it will be more clear. So now let us see very quickly what wire is. Now see what I told you. When you are taking 4 quadrants, you have to keep your probe as perpendicular as possible. This is 1 pocket, 2nd pocket here, 3rd pocket here, 4th pocket here. What is the point? Point is that if there is some fluid over here, for example, some fluid in this pocket, if I will be angling my probe from here on screen, it will look like there is a pocket or there is not a pocket, but which pocket I am scanning right now? I am sending the beam to this pocket. So keep your probe as perpendicular as possible. So now let us see what is our in this case. So again, taking the head perimetry. So now I think that I will not revise each and everything what I have discussed with you. Let me show you some more things what we have to take in the routine fetal perimetries. So this is the fetal head. If head is here, I will move up to get the femoral length. This is the abdominal circumference which is coming. I will not give you more detail because this is taken twice detailedly in 2 patients. So let me show something new in this patient. And what is that? Let me show you how to take the umbilical artery. Okay. Now, whenever I am taking the color Doppler, what I am taking the umbilical cord also. Now see, I am seeing the free floating umbilical cord over here. Whenever I see the free floating umbilical cord, what I will do, I will put the color box. Now there are arteries, 2 arteries and 1 vein. I will take the pulse wave, and there is a gate. Please control your background noise, Dr. Abhishek. So what will be there? There will be a gate which has to be put on to the artery to get the flow. Dr. Abhish, please control your background noise. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
okay. So this is the gate. This is the gate over here. This gate has to be put. Now I'm zooming onto the gate. This gate has to be put onto the vessel. Now this is the umbilical vein which is over here. Why this is so? We will not discuss that because that will be the very lengthy thing which is already taken in color Doppler video. So I'm just demonstrating the umbilical artery in this case. So again, demonstrating from the start, saying the free floating cord, putting the color box, and see, this is the cord over here, taking the pulse wave and putting it onto the vessel. And this is how we'll get the flow in this umbilical artery. So this is the normal umbilical artery. Why this is normal? This is already discussed with you. Very beautiful picture. Why this is very beautiful picture? Because what I'm saying is the umbilical artery above baseline and the umbilical vein below baseline, because my gate was wide enough to take both umbilical artery as well as the umbilical vein. Anyhow, this is the umbilical artery over here, and this is the baseline, which is in between the umbilical vein and umbilical artery in this case. So this is how the umbilical artery is also taken. If you have any question, you can tell me. Yeah, Dr. Abhish, do you have any question till now?
No, sir.
Okay. So this
Sir,
was about a basic of the fetal perimetry. Yes, tell me. Yeah.
sir, before measuring fetal heart rate, sir, we go to B mode to A mode, no?
I will show you. I will show you. Wait. Before taking, now I'm showing you on the monitor also. This is the B mode, right? This
Yes, sir.
B mode. This is the M mode. This is what I was pressing. This is what I was pressing. And when I will press this, there will be the M mode on the screen. Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
I will be pressing the B. I will be pressing the M. Then I will show you on the screen how it works. Now this is B. This is B mode. Okay. Then
Yes, sir.
whenever I will press onto the M mode, I will tell you. Now I am pressing on the M mode. I see the fetal heart. Now see, this is the fetal heart over here.
Yes, sir.
This is the fetal heart pulsating over here. I'll show you. This is the fetal heart. Now I am pressing on the M mode. Now I have pressed it. This line will appear. And there will be a second line over here, which has to be onto the fetal heart. And after zooming, I will see the pulsations coming over here. And next, what to do, that is already discussed. So the point is that I have to switch from B mode to M mode to take the fetal heart. So this is the pulsations which you will see when you will be taking the fetal heart. So the basic point is that yes, I have to switch from M mode to B mode. Anything else?
No, no, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay,
See you
bye,
soon.
sir.
Whenever there will be the next question, we will update you. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Take care.